You're listening to the Public Health Entrepreneurs Podcast with your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley. Welcome to the Public Health Entrepreneurs, the podcast for visionary leaders who are ready to transform public health and healthcare through innovation. I'm your host, Dr. Charlotte Huntley, and as a public health entrepreneur with over 25 years of experience in healthcare and public health, I understand the unique challenges and opportunities that come with bridging multiple disciplines. Now, if you are a high-functioning leader with expertise across different fields, whether it's medical doctor, dentist, pharmacist who have a public health degree, or public health doctor who also has expertise in a different field, or any other interdisciplinary professional, you know what it's like to see opportunities that others miss. You also understand the gaps in our current systems, and you have a lot of really good ideas about how to make things better. You also understand that having unique perspectives can often feel isolating or a little frustrating, especially when it seems like those around you don't really understand or get excited or are open to your unique perspective. You may even feel a little bit divided across the different disciplines or fields of expertise. Is any of this resonating with you? I'm sure it is. Those of you who listen to this podcast are really finding that you're connecting with me on the things that I'm describing, and you're realizing, oh, it's not just me. And you're finding a little bit of a safe space as you listen to these podcasts. That's my hope. And I'm finding out from people that I speak to who make their way to my calendar from listening to these episodes that that's what's happening. And that is my goal. I definitely understand. And it's why I focus our topics on this podcast to provide you with the type of support that you need. Now, on the topic today, I want to share with you a little bit more about our retreats. In fact, as I record this, we recently completed our retreat in San Diego, California. And I realized I had a lot of eye-opening moments as we sat in those 2 days and experienced the retreat from a lot of different angles. So I made a commitment to myself and to the people in the room and to my team that we were going to amplify our description of this program and these retreats and put a little bit more effort into trying to really express it to you, because we don't do it justice is what I mean. Like, it is truly a phenomenal program, and the retreats are game changing, are just so transformational. And I really want to do my best to try to express that to you. I say, I invite you to explore the opportunity and to apply for the program. And I say all these things. But when I'm sitting in that room and I'm witnessing the transformations and I'm listening to the attendees talk about how it has impacted them time after time, and then we bring someone new in who hasn't experienced it before, and they make a comment like, I had no idea it was like this. And oh my gosh, this has been phenomenal. And I see them literally light up. And I'm reminded of how all of our other members had that same feeling and expression the first time they attended. I even have a member who's been to several of them. We have them every 6 months. And she said every time it exceeds her expectations, and she leaves excited for the next one. So I am going to walk you through a little bit more about our program and these retreats. And my hope is that it sparks a little something in you to get you to taking some action. So just to reiterate, our Mastermind Group program, you can read about it on our website at publichealthentrepreneurs.com. There's a tab that says Mastermind, and it explains what happens in the programs. So if you really want those details, it's there. But in a nutshell, we come together as a community in a virtual space, and we have a different set of activities each week. It's not draining or overwhelming. It's providing you with the kind of support that you need to do business every day. We have, entrepreneurs is an umbrella term, and you can also go back to the first episode of the podcast and hear my definition and explanation of that. As an entrepreneur, you might be a consultant, you might be an author, you might be a speaker, a podcaster. You can wear any number of hats as an entrepreneur in public health. So our mastermind group is mix of people who wear different hats. They're not all consultants. Many of them are, but we have, like I said, authors and podcasters and just a mix of people in that community. So when we come together, it's a place and a space where we can support each other. We can learn and grow, get questions answered, receive some coaching and guidance, and really grow. And it's that safe space. We hear this phrase a lot, but it really is a place where we are supportive and encouraging. We're not tearing each other down. We give honest feedback, and you can share your thoughts and count on receiving that type of feedback and then decide what to do with it, because ultimately you make those decisions. People are on different walks of the journey. The majority of the people in this program are full-time entrepreneurs, but we have a good amount of people who are working a job and building toward being full-time entrepreneurs and all the combinations. So that support is important. We have mastermind meetings and we have a lot of visibility events to help with networking and all of the things that we need to grow our businesses. I'm very goal oriented. So we teach a lot about setting good goals and how to reach those goals. When I say good goals, I'm talking about clear and action with action items and deadlines or timelines, but accountability baked in, because that's important. So that's the beauty of that in that virtual space. So for 6 months at a time, we are engaging and growing and supporting one another and thriving. And there's a resource library we can dive in to certain topics and just all of the things, support, everything is there for you in this space. And then we have our retreats twice a year. Our retreats are, right now we have a pattern for the last couple of years we've been doing. We have a retreat in February. We have a retreat in August. So 6 months apart. Every 6 months we get together. So February and August. When we are in person, it's 2 days, and you would be amazed at what happens in this 2-day period of time. Part of this is the fact that we are moving away from our normal environment and our location. So we're meeting in a space that pulls us away from all of the distractions that happen in our normal setting. And once I bring you into a space like this, we take care of everything. So you just have to get there. And my team does a phenomenal job of making sure that we are served healthy food throughout the day. It reduces the decision fatigue, and there's no one pulling and gnawing at you. So when you're in this space, you are the CEO of your business. You're the leader of whatever it is you have, your podcast, your book, whatever it is, you are in that space to focus on what is needed. You are the visionary at that point. So you're focused on your business, your goals, whatever you bring the challenge, the most pressing challenge that you have with you to the retreat so that we can work through it. But you just need to get there, and then you can start to take a deep breath and relax in this space. And like I said, everything is provided for you, and then the magic starts to happen. So one of my strengths, and one of the things that I'm really proud to say I'm good at doing this is, we're all problem solvers, right? In the space of entrepreneurship and especially consulting. But one of the things that I'm able to do is have you bring those challenges to the room. And throughout that course of the 2 days, I'm able to help you address that challenge. You're leaving with your goals met for that retreat, and you're leaving with custom strategies, a game plan that you go back home and you're energized and excited to put it into action. It happens time after time after time. And it is not the same rinse and repeat. These are not generic strategies. These are customized to you. And that is the beauty of this time. And it's the magic of what happens in the space. And also in the process, you're being seen and heard and cared for and supported and encouraged. And also, I've heard another attendee describe it as sort of getting plugged in and getting re-energized in the space. And then the creativity that wakes up also spills over into other parts of your life as well. So that change of the environment and the location is a huge part of the magic that happens. Like I said, there's the space to think and explore ideas and get creative. There's that customized feedback and the strategy development. It's a space so you can be vulnerable. And we have this happen every single time. There's always at least one person that needs that opportunity to just kind of open up and pour out. for me, the transformations are always phenomenal. So at this point, I've literally watched people who started in this program with a business that was making maybe $30,000, $40,000 a year. And then fast forward a couple of years, their goal this year is to reach, I think she said 220,000 is the goal. She exceeded the mark of six figures and now moving into the space of her business. Watching that happen, it wasn't overnight, but just being able to watch her transform each time has been an incredible for me, from my perspective, to watch. And then now that we have this group, we have some people who have been in there since the very beginning when we first formed it. So we call those our founding members. And people tend to stay in this program a little longer than a lot of programs that cycle through. I ask for at least 6 months commitment because it takes about 6 months for you to be able to see and experience some transformation. And some people kind of get where they need to be and they move on past that. But the majority of people continue to stay and thrive and grow. And that's important to notice and to watch, because now those people that have been in here for a while are watching the transformation with their peers in the group. So it's not just me watching it, but they're starting to see it among their peer group. And that's also magical. So I'm almost at a loss, because as I watch it and I realize, yes, I need to speak more about this and I need you to understand, you really won't get it until you experience it. But I need you to kind of at least feel it in the energy that's coming from me as I try to describe this to you. There is so much more to it than just a retreat or just a couple of days together. And what happens in those 2 days of the retreat, it's like, I don't know, it's more than you could accomplish in several months on your own. It's like, it's such an escalated process and an effect. And it's just such a rich culmination of things. It's incredible. Everyone leaves excited to put those actions into place. And I was thinking about this as we left the retreat. We jump into our community and it has just blown up with excitement. Everyone's posting and sharing and, what they're like, hitting the ground running on the way back and just excited and commenting about can't wait for the next one. So when we meet in August, I was thinking about this as I kind of did my own reflection. There are so many things that people, significant things that are on the calendars of the attendees who were in San Diego. So I have I made some notes. There's someone who's launching a podcast. So when we get together in August, now she's been talking about her podcast. It will be alive and out. She'll have several episodes by then, and she'll be talking about her podcast. It'll be a real thing, not just a vision or an idea. We have several people who actually have refined offers in their business and they are ready to start pitching those. So maybe without getting too specific, but they have offers in their business that they've had that worked for a while and they wanted to revamp those offers, tweak those offers to make them better. So sometimes what works for you for a while, as you grow, you need to develop or redefine that offer and make it fit the needs of where you're going, match your goals. So we have at least 2 people, I think a third person actually, at least 3 people who have refined offers that they're going to be presenting, and then they'll be reporting on that when we meet in August. And that's exciting to hear what happens and how it's received and, just what they end up doing. We have a couple of folks that are hosting rather significant events for their businesses. And I can't wait to hear about when we get to August, they're going to be sharing about what happened. So we help them with the planning and some of the details leading up to the event in this retreat and refining the event and the details. And in August, we'll get to hear that update. Now, of course, we meet throughout the Mastermind program and we'll hear this throughout the meetings. But when we're sitting in that room, all of these things that we planned for just last week at the time of this recording. But when we get to August, it will have already happened and they'll have all these lessons learned and it'll be on the other side of that implementation. That's exciting. That's really exciting to me. On top of that, I've already met with a couple of people who are interested in working with me for a little while and then being ready for coming into our next enrollment of the Mastermind program, which happens in June. So they've been listening to the podcast and hearing me talk about enrollment is in December, so that we start off in January and then they can enroll again in June for that second half of the year to kick off July. So I thought she already knew that. She came in saying, yes, I'm ready to do that. So I'm thinking if she comes in and gets into the program, then she'll be maybe the next new person that'll be at the retreat in August. And we alternate between the East Coast and the West Coast. So in August, we'll be back on the East Coast and it's closer to where she lives. So I'm just thinking about all these things. And the beauty of this for me is that knowing that this program is having such an impact on the lives of entrepreneurs, these interdisciplinary professionals. The way I describe it and introduce you to this podcast when I talk about how it's for the MDs with the Masters of Public Health or the doctors of public health who also have this other degree, like those are the people that are in our program. So it's not this arbitrary message that I'm sending out when I'm introducing this podcast and talking to you. This is the program. And I'm really hoping that if these episodes are resonating with you, then you're finding a way to move closer to becoming a part of this Mastermind Group program. So I hope that you're feeling the energy coming from me as I'm explaining the excitement, the reward. It is such a rewarding feeling for me because I know that this program is having an impact. We're able to have an impact on the people who are in the room, who come to these retreats and who are in this program. And then therefore, when they go back and pour into the communities they serve, we become an indirect part of that. We are supporting communities literally around this country and around the world. So that is extremely rewarding. And it gives me enough energy to keep doing this podcast and to keep delivering in this program. So on that note, I want to remind you that, of course, we have the Mastermind Group program, but if you are looking for some personalized guidance, and maybe it's between the enrollment, like you're ready to do something now, you want to get started, maybe you're not quite ready for the Mastermind program. It's really intended for people who have already gotten started and have gotten that clear definition of what they want to do. So if you're not quite there yet, and maybe you want to work with me to help receive some guidance on clarifying that and what that means for you and how you can, what are the possibilities for you? And we can talk about all of the areas of expertise that you have and just brainstorm some things. Like if that's the type of guidance that you're looking for to seeing just what's possible for you, then I encourage you to reach out to me through our website and mention that you'd like to explore how to work with me to help get that clarification or, just discuss what that looks like and what's possible for you. I invite you to do that through our website. You would just need to go to the contact page and send a message and give as much detail as you can to kind of help my team to know that you've heard this podcast and that this is where you are. And then they'll arrange a time for you to meet with me and we can discuss those opportunities. I would love to be able to support you. And the people that are making their way to my calendar are exactly the kind of people I want to be talking to and trying to help and support. So if you're listening this far and you're thinking and you're wondering if that's me, that probably is you. So I invite you to reach out through our website. Again, it's publichealthentrepreneurs.com, and you'll find the links in the description and the show notes as well. All right, everyone. Until next time, have a fantastic rest of your day. Thank you for listening. Visit publichealthentrepreneurs.com to learn more.